Welcome back, everyone. You've probably heard the saying, selling your child for glory. But selling your own son's life for an insurance payout, that is the absolute depths of cruelty. Today, justice will be served, but the price is Toan's desperate tears. What is the naked truth? Stay tuned to find out right now. Why won't you just die? I only get the money if you die. Can you believe that those are words from a mother to her son who just cheated death? The door opens and Toan stammers, "Mom," only to freeze in horror as he watches her get handcuffed right in front of him. The truth about that rainy night accident has been exposed. There was no enemy. It was his own birth mother who sold Toan's life for a massive insurance policy. Even more painful, Toan still remembers nothing. He screams in despair, unable to understand why his own mother wanted to kill him, a tragedy that will bring you to tears. Hit like right now to share Toan's pain, and subscribe to see how justice is served in today's haunting episode. Run. They are watching you. Toan's blood-curdling scream pierced through the noise of the afternoon market like a drill. He curled up under the banyan tree, clutching his head, his eyes rolling back as he stared at a fluttering banner above like he was seeing a demon. In his hand, the crumpled drawing of the bleeding eye seemed to bleed red ink into his skin, burning hot. "Toan, calm down. There's no one here. It's me." Diem threw the bag of meat she just bought onto the ground and rushed in to hug her husband tight. Toan struggled, pushing Diem away. The strength of his fear made him so strong that Diem almost fell backward. "Don't come near me, blood." "Mom, help me. Don't hit me anymore," Toan babbled. That unconscious cry of "Mom" squeezed Diem's heart. He was calling for his mother. In his extreme panic, an amnesiac man still returned to his most primal instincts, seeking a mother's protection. But tragically, he had no idea that the very person he was calling out to for help was the ghost waiting to swallow him whole. The crowd gathered, pointing fingers. Some pitied them, others curiously filmed it. Diem gritted her teeth, forcing back her tears. She used every ounce of her strength to grip Toan's shoulders, screaming over the noise. "Dang Van Toan, look at me, I am Diem. We are going home. No one can hurt you while I am here." Diem's steady gaze and steely voice were like a bucket of ice water thrown in Toan's face, pulling him out of his delirium. He exhaled sharply, his body going limp, collapsing into her arms like a wilted banana leaf. Diem hurriedly helped him onto the bike, abandoning the unsold grapefruit, and pedaled for dear life toward the red dirt road. She didn't dare look back. She was afraid. Afraid of that chill down her spine, feeling like thousands of eyes were watching her. From a distance, inside the luxury black car, parked under the almond tree, the tinted window slowly rolled up. A woman's voice rang out cold and cruel. "He's still alive, and he's truly gone mad." At the district police headquarters, the atmosphere in the special investigation room was tense. The lead investigator slammed the file down on the desk, sending dust flying. "Have you verified this thoroughly? This is no joke." The young officer nodded, unable to hide the shock on his face. Report captain verified 100%. 2 months before the accident, a massive life insurance policy was purchased for the victim, Dang Van Toan. The payout clause is worth tens of billions if death occurs by accident. "Who is the beneficiary?" the captain asked, narrowing his eyes. "It's Mrs. Nguyen Thi Mai, the victim's birth mother." The captain took a long drag of his cigarette. Birth mother. Have you investigated Mrs. Mai's background? Yes, sir. She is a notorious gambling addict in the city, buried in debt, actively hunted by loan sharks. 2 months ago, she suddenly paid off part of the interest and asked for an extension on the principal, promising that a huge sum of money is about to fall from the sky. The timing of her promise matches exactly when Toan was attacked. The room fell dead silent. A naked, brutal truth was gradually revealed. There were no business rivals. There were no love affairs gone wrong. Only a mother who, because of debt and bottomless greed, planned to sell the life of the son she birthed in exchange for insurance money. Monster! The captain roared, punching the wall. Even tigers don't eat their cubs. She is worse than an animal. Issue a summons for Mrs. Mai immediately. But Captain, she disappeared from her residence 3 days ago. Traffic cameras show her car moving toward the outskirts of District X. District X, where Toan and his wife are hiding. Damn it, she is hunting her prey. Call the local commune police down there. Order them to protect the victim immediately. But nothing could hide the wrinkles of calculation at the corners of her mouth. It was Mrs. Mai, Toan's biological mother. She looked through the window, seeing her son cowering behind his wife, his head buried in Diem's shoulder. A mother seeing her son alive after a near-fatal accident should have rushed to hug him, crying and thanking the heavens. But no. Mrs. Mai clicked her tongue, her voice full of annoyance. Useless brat, hit in the head and didn't die, just went crazy. His life is as stubborn as a leech. The driver, the henchman who had stuffed the note into Toan's pocket earlier, turned and asked, "What now, boss?" He's crazy. He probably doesn't remember anything. Should we let him go? Let him go. Mrs. Mai sneered, taking off her sunglasses to reveal cold, soulless eyes. You're an idiot. I pawned the Red Book property deed and borrowed from loan sharks to buy that insurance. If he's alive and kicking, where am I getting the money to pay the debt? The creditors will skin me alive. She stared at Toan's back, her eyes devoid of any affection, filled only with valuation. To her right now, Toan wasn't a son. He was an asset that needed to be liquidated to save her own life. He has to die, or at least disappear permanently, so I can file for a death declaration. So should I run him over right now? The road is empty. The driver revved the engine. Hold it, Mrs. Mai snapped. Are you blind? That girl is with him. She pointed a finger at Diem. That girl, I know her. Years ago, Toan wanted to marry her, but I forbade it because she was poor. Who knew she'd be the one taking him in now? Look at how she protected him at the market. She's no pushover. If we strike now, she'll scream, the villagers will swarm out, and everything will be ruined. I need a natural death. Understand suicide due to depression or an accidental fall into the river? Not a murder case for the cops to jump on. Mrs. Mai leaned back in her seat, fingers tapping a rhythm on the armrest. Follow them. Wait until nightfall, or wait until that girl lets her guard down. I want to see Toan's corpse, but this time it has to be certain. Diem brought Toan home as dusk fell. Dark clouds gathered, signaling a heavy storm about to break, just like that fateful night in Toan's memory. As soon as they stepped inside, Toan crawled into the corner of the bed, pulling the blanket over his head. He trembled, muttering nonsense words. Diem had torn up the drawing of the bleeding eye and thrown it away, but the trauma couldn't be torn up. Diem locked the main door tight and bolted the windows. She had never felt this rented house was so fragile. She cooked a bowl of hot porridge and brought it to the bedside. Toan, get up and eat some porridge. I locked the door. It's safe. Toan peeked out from the blanket, his eyes red as he looked at Diem. Diem, where is my mom? Why do I feel like mom is watching me? Diem was stunned. The intuition of the insane is sometimes chillingly accurate. Do you miss your mom? When you get better, I'll take you to find her. Diem comforted him completely, unaware that mom was right outside, separated from them by only a thin brick wall. Outside on the road, the black car engine was off, parked silently in the shadow of the bamboo grove. Mrs. Mai rolled down the window slightly to let out cigarette smoke. She watched the sickly yellow light spilling from Diem's window. She remembered when Toan was little. He was a filial son running into his mother's arms after school. Mom, when I grow up, I'll be an architect and build a big house for you. The promise from years ago echoed in her ears, and she had used that very promise to kill him. She tricked Toan into signing the insurance contract with the excuse, Mom is old, I need some security. Toan signed without hesitation because he trusted his mother absolutely. A rare tear rolled down Mrs. Mai's cheek, but immediately after her phone rang, it was the loan shark. Hello, Mrs. Mai. The deadline is tomorrow. If you don't have the money, prepare your own coffin. The tear instantly dried up. The selfish instinct for survival rose up, strangling the last bit of conscience. Don't worry, Mrs. Mai said into the phone, her voice cold. The money is right in front of me. You'll have it tomorrow. She turned to the driver. Get the tools ready. It's raining hard tonight. The thunder will drown out the screams. Wait until Diem is fast asleep. Then we go in and pick up Toan. Inside the house, Diem couldn't sleep. A feeling of unease churned in her gut. Toan had drifted off from exhaustion, but his hand still clutched Diem's sleeve. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Diem started. Who would come at this hour? The old landlady. She tiptoed out, calling through the wooden door. Who is it? Silence outside for a moment. Then a woman's voice rang out, trembling and choked with emotion, acting so perfectly that no one would suspect a thing. Miss, excuse me, is my son? Is Toan staying here? Diem froze. Toan's mother. How did she know? My son. I heard people say he's still alive. I traveled all the way from the city. Just let me see my son's face for a moment. Sobbing sounds echoed from behind the door. Diem was confused. She cracked the window open to peek out. Under the dim porch light, she saw a middle-aged woman, dressed expensively, but with disheveled hair and a haggard appearance, standing there crying. It was indeed the woman in the old photo Toan used to show her. It really was his mother. Diem's heart softened. She thought of Toan calling for his mother in his delirium earlier. Maybe maternal love had guided her here. Maybe she would be the best medicine for Toan right now. Diem had no idea that behind the woman crying so pitifully, the man in black was gripping a rope tight, pressing himself into the shadows against the wall. Diem placed her hand on the latch. Auntie, please wait a moment. She began to turn the lock. The door cracked open. Mrs. Mai looked up, tears still streaming down her face, but the corner of her mouth quirked into a grotesque smile. The prey had taken the bait. The wooden door creaked wider. Before DM stood Mrs. Mai, a mother with a tear-stained face, her shoulders shaking with emotion. "Child, please let me see my son," she sobbed, stepping toward the threshold. But right behind her, in the murky darkness of the intensifying rain, Deem caught a glimpse of a moving shadow. A cold glint of metal flashed. It was the driver. He was holding a rope, pressed flat against the wall, ready to lunge and strangle anyone who stood in his way. Diem's heart stopped. She realized she had made a fatal mistake. "Run, Toan." Diem tried to scream and slam the door shut, but before she could do anything, blindingly bright flashlights erupted from the dense bamboo bushes outside the gate, tearing through the night. "Freeze, police, you are surrounded!" A loudspeaker boomed, cutting through the thunder. Mrs. Mai jumped, the blood draining from her face. The driver tried to turn and run, but it was too late. Undercover officers who had been lying in wait sprang out like arrows, tackling him into the mud. The dry click of handcuffs snapping onto his wrists echoed through the yard. Mrs. Mai stood rooted to the spot, eyes wide with terror. She looked around, seeing uniformed police officers encircling the house. "Mrs. Nguyen Mai, you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder and insurance fraud." Two officers stepped forward, coldly handcuffing her. Inside, Toan heard the commotion and stumbled out. He rubbed his eyes, looking at the scene like a child lost on an action movie set. He saw the woman he had just called Mom, in his delirium now being handcuffed. "Mom!" Toan gasped, his voice trembling and bewildered. He started to rush forward. "Why are you arresting my mom? What did she do wrong, Mom?" Toan broke free from DM's grip, dashing toward Mrs. Mai. But an officer held him back just in time. "Mr. Toan, calm down. She is a dangerous suspect." Toan struggled, tears gushing out. "No, that's my mother. Mom, tell them you came to visit me." He looked at Mrs. Mai with pleading eyes, waiting for an explanation, a look of love. He didn't remember what happened. In his mind, there was only one concept: Mom is the best person in the world. But in response to Toan's agonizing gaze, Mrs. Mai slowly lifted her head. Knowing there was no escape, that the handcuffs had sealed her fate, she didn't need to act anymore. The grieving mother mask fell away, revealing the true face of a monster driven by greed. She looked at Toan, her eyes devoid of warmth, filled instead with malice and disgust. "Don't call me Mom," she hissed, her voice bitter. "Useless brat, why didn't you just die? Why did you live just to make me suffer like this? If you had died that rainy night, I would have had the money to pay my debts. I would be living the high life. Why are you so stubborn?" Toan. Every word, every syllable was a knife stabbing straight into Toan's bleeding heart. He went numb. His body went rigid. "Mom, what are you saying? Money? What money?" Toan stammered, his head spinning. He didn't understand. Why did his mom want him dead? Why was she looking at him like an enemy? "Shut up." Deem rushed forward, covering Toan's ears, sobbing for her husband. "You don't deserve to be a mother. You are an animal." "What do you know?" Mrs. Mai screamed, struggling against the police. "I gave birth to him. His life belongs to me. What's wrong with taking it back tens of billions in insurance money? All I needed was for him to die, and I would have had it all. You people ruined everything. Mrs. Mai's crazed screams faded as the police escorted her to the transport van. The siren wailed as it drove away, leaving a deathly silence in the small house and a completely broken Toan. Most of the police left, leaving only the lead investigator to take preliminary statements and comfort the victim. Toan sat on the cold floor, staring blankly into space. He wasn't crying anymore, but his expression had gone slack, soulless, like a corpse. "DM," Toan whispered. "Why? Why did Mom want to kill me? What did I do wrong? Was I bad?" DM hugged his shoulders in pain. She looked at the captain, nodding a signal. It was time for Toan to know the truth, no matter how cruel. The captain sighed, opened the file, and placed the life insurance contract with Toan's signature in front of him. "Mr. Toan, look closely at this signature. Is it yours?" Toan looked at the paper. The signature was shaky, but it was his handwriting. 3 months ago, the captain explained slowly, "Your mother tricked you into signing this contract under the pretense of securing your future. But in reality, she owed a massive sum to loan sharks due to gambling. She was backed into a corner, and she chose to sacrifice you to get the payout that rainy night." DM continued, her voice choked. "The man in black who beat you was a hitman hired by your own mother. She wanted to stage a robbery murder, but heaven had mercy. You were only severely injured and lost your memory. She thought you were dead and left. When she found out you were alive, she came here, not to visit you, but to kill you a second time." Toan listened to every word, swallowing them like shards of glass. His entire world collapsed. An amnesiac's innocent faith in maternal bond was crushed. It turned out that the nightmares about the man in black, about the blood, they all stemmed from his own mother's greed. "No, it can't be." Toan clutched his head, then started pounding his chest hard. "It hurts. It hurts right here, DM. I have to remember. I have to remember why Mom became like this." Toan suddenly screamed. He stood up, slamming his head against the wall as if trying to use physical pain to jumpstart his brain. DM panicked, holding him back. "Toan, don't do that. You'll hurt yourself. Let me go. I want to remember. I want to know if she ever loved me back then. Or was I just a tool for her to make money since I was little?" Toan struggled, his eyes bloodshot. He tried to ransack his empty memory. He tried to find an image of his mother smiling at him. Tried to find a meal she cooked for him. Tried to find one time she rubbed his head when he was sick. But it was all just a blank white slate. A chilling, stark white. The harder he tried, the more his head felt like it was splitting open. Fragmented memories swirled, the sound of gambling dice, cursing debt collectors shouting. But the image of a loving mother was nowhere to be found. Finally, Toan collapsed to the floor from exhaustion, sobbing like an abandoned child. "I don't remember anything. Deem, I'm so useless. I can't remember what kind of person my mom was. I'm just scared. I'm so scared of her." Toan's despair seemed to freeze the air in the room. He was so unfortunate that he didn't even have memories to mourn or resent. He was left with only one brutal reality. His mother was a murderer, and he was the victim. When Toan finally drifted off due to exhaustion and sedatives, the captain pulled Diem out to the porch. His face was graver than before. "Miss Diem, this case isn't simply a mother killing her son for insurance money." "What do you mean?" Diem asked anxiously. "We've done a preliminary investigation into Mrs. Mai's debts. She owes hundreds of billions. A normal gambler couldn't borrow that much without collateral." He took a drag of his cigarette, staring into the dark night. Someone intentionally pumped money to Mrs. Mai to gamble, intentionally pushed her into a dead-end debt trap to force her to take action against Toan. Their goal wasn't Mrs. Mai's money. It might have been targeting Toan. Diem shuddered. "Targeting Toan? But he's just an architect." "Right." But before losing his memory, Toan was in charge of designing a secret project for the Thien Long Corporation. And the head of that corporation has shady ties to this loan shark ring. The captain looked at Diem with a warning in his eyes. Arresting Mrs. Mai is just cutting off one tentacle of the octopus. The real puppeteer, the one who wants Toan dead or silenced forever, is still out there above the law. And now that the plan using Mrs. Mai has failed, it's very likely they will strike directly. Diem stood frozen in the biting wind. Mrs. Mai sold her son for money, but who handed her the knife? Toan remembered nothing. He was completely empty-handed in this war. No memory, no weapon, no refuge. The only thing he had was Diem. Inside, Toan stirred in his sleep. He mumbled, Don't kill me." Diem wiped her tears, a fire of resilience burning in her eyes. She wouldn't let anyone hurt him again. Whether it was his mother or a mafia boss, she would be his memory, his shield. But can the small frame of a woman stand against a rising dark force? And the secret in the design blueprint that Toan has forgotten? What horrors does it actually contain? Dear friends, the family tragedy has closed with the sound of police sirens, but the door to a larger conspiracy has swung open. Toan's mother was just a sacrificial pawn. Who is the real final boss? Why does he want Toan dead so badly? How will Toan face the fact that he holds the Achilles heel of an underground power, a secret he can't even remember? The journey to regain his memory is no longer just about finding love. It is about finding the key to survival. Hit like to support Diem and Toan, and subscribe right now so you don't miss the breathless developments in the next episode, the blueprint of death and the tycoon's manhunt.